Hello, hello, and welcome to more Marble Island Roll Gamedev. It's been a little bit for me. I say a little bit, it's just been a few days. Last time we had set up this whole entire wall, and I think it came out very well in the end. We still gotta do various bits of touching up of elements. But for now, I want to build the other wall on the other side of this canyon. Real quick, let me take a moment to once again try and start the video by mentioning some of the issues I have so people who know game development better than me can help. The idols, I want them to be bobbing up and down and spinning, but for some reason they won't. Here is what their whole entire code looks like. I thought I had coded a bob up and down into them. But I guess not. So if anybody who knows Unreal better than me can explain that, please do. Let me see if I can get the bug to trigger. But very frequently I have the issue of... It didn't happen there. Very frequently when I'm going fast and I hit the terrain, I clip through it. And I'm still trying to find a way to make that not happen as much. If anybody knows a way to make it less likely for my ball to clip through the terrain, let me know. I want to make... Where is it? I want to make this texture, rather than stretch out, I want it to tile. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do that, and no tutorials online are helping. So I want this to be a tiled texture rather than a stretched texture. If anybody who knows Unreal better than me knows how to fix that, please let me know. I'm going to try and start the videos explaining these issues more frequently. And I think for now that's all of the issues that, like, I haven't been able to solve on my own. Like, there's one I just haven't looked into yet. Like, I want to put invisible force in the water so that when players go into the ocean, they get pushed back towards land. I'm sure I could figure out how to do that if I just looked into it more. Yeah. Other than that, most of my other issues I've been able to solve on my own. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and just start building this, western wall. Continuing to get a very good use out of the modular Lost Ruin kit. Models, nature, rocks. Let's start off with some non-grassy rock walls. As always, we're listening to the Outer Wilds soundtrack because I fucking love that game. As we get closer to another year anniversary of the channel, I've been considering doing like a retrospective on all of the games we've beaten on the channel and talking about which ones I like the most. And I think it'll come as very little surprise when Outer Wilds places high on that list. Alright, just chew away at this and also raise terrain to match. Oop. God, I love Outer Wilds soundtrack. Why is it not flattening the terrain right? There we go, now it is. A lot of the pre-done terrain we did is being redefined by my use of these rock walls. Right, I forgot we gotta hide a thing there. Alright, let's go back into here, and let's pull out this rock wall. Put that in there. And then let's pull out this rock wall. Alright, now let's get to our terrain tools again. That's just acting as a reminder of what I'm trying to hide. Even though odds are the player won't be able to see that anyway, because that tree will disappear before they ever get here, but whatever. This is leading to me making more interesting terrain. Fuck. Yeah, like, I think that overall looks very interesting of a terrain shape. I like that cliff shape. I think I want to get another bit of rock wall right there, though. I think I want to use this again. But I want to scale it down to 0.5 size. No, let's go with 0.9 size. Rotate it. Move it over here. Go to terrain editing. Shrink the size. Go to flatten. Ramp tool. Raise that terrain slightly. Smooth the terrain. All right. And once I paint all this up, like, actually, let's go ahead and do a little bit of that right now just to show how good it's gonna look. Paint all of this up to be the right texture. Look how good this cliffside here all looks. I gotta get some, like, asphalt textures in here for when I start doing the city part. Oh yeah, that looks good. Alright. Back to the selection tool. I don't know how long this stream's gonna go because I got a later start tonight than I normally would, like much later. We're doing this at like, what time is it right now? Yeah, it's 5:30 a.m. and I usually go to bed at 6. But I'm also not very tired because my pneumonia has been fucking with my sleep schedule. Speak of the fucking devil, fuck. Ugh. Nope, I need sculpt. There we go. Flatten. There we go. Careful. Ooh, we need to definitely increase the brush fall off a little more. God, why am I having such a hard time getting it looking good here? Increase the fall off and soften the strength. It just keeps on coming out with these very ugly 90-degree angles that I'm not liking for some reason. Alright, that's looking a little better. There we go. Oop, over smoothed there. It's a delicate balance using the smooth tool. Alright, that's looking good finally. Alright, back to selection tool. And now we'll start switching to the cliffs with foliage. Let's go ahead and use this one. Landscape. Alright, now we gotta dig out the cliff we just placed. As I'm recording this, they recently announced the 4th episode of Amazing Digital Circus, and I am excited. I love that goofy little show. So many people are being fucking weird about it online, on both ends of the spectrum, both people who love it and hate it. And, like, I'm always hesitant to say I enjoy certain things because of shit like that. But, like, it's just a very pleasantly animated, kind of fucked up series, and I love that. The characters are all very well designed and very cute looking. There's a clear intentionality behind a lot of it, and the creator is very open about all of their intentions with the series. Like, people keep giving them shit for the merch they're releasing, and they're just like, listen, if we didn't release the merch, bootleggers would. We're doing this so you can get quality merch instead of bootleg garbage. So shut up. I'm just like, respect. I can respect that. Oh man, I am loving how this is coming out. Because there is just enough elevation change that I feel like it looks nice. I'm also a big fan of like Hell of a Boss and all of that. But again, that's one where the fan base is so weird. Both the people who like the show and the people who like to hate the show. That I don't like. It's like the same reason I don't talk about how I'm a My Little Pony fan. Because the My Little Pony fandom is full of a lot of strange people. And, like, I don't like to kink shame or anything, but I don't like the fact that anytime I mention I enjoy Cartoon Pony Show because it's just very This isn't my music playlist anymore. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I had not set the... Yeah, come on. It just undid the loop. There we go. It's now set to loop. Oop, wrong thing. There we go. Landscape it. Yeah, but, like, I'm just a fan of goofy animation that acknowledges I'm a fucking adult when I'm watching it, without feeling the need to, like, pull a Family Guy and go like, boob vagina, shit, adult. You know? And, like, yeah, fucking Has-Been Hotel cusses a lot, but I cuss a lot. So I'm okay with that. So many people give that show shit because it cusses a lot, and I'm like, yeah. They're in hell. I imagine they'd cuss a lot and talk about fucking all the time. Because they're the Christian depiction of hell. Like, that's something that I think gets lost a lot in the Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel discourse when people are like, ooh, the show is so vulgar. I'm like, yeah, of course it's so vulgar. They're in hell. Everybody there was sent because they fit the Christian stereotypical depiction of a sinner. So guess what? They're all gonna drink. They're all gonna cuss. They're all gonna fuck. It's kind of the point of the show, if you pay any degree of attention. But instead people are just like, cartoon, swear, bad, ugh. I want to use the curve out one. I'm using a lot of the same piece right now, but whatever. A lot of people also complain that the Has-Been Hotel is full of musical numbers, but like the pilot had a musical number and it's clearly drawing inspiration from like Phineas and Ferb style Disney Channel. And, you know, like, Phineas and Ferb has a song every episode, and people weren't complaining about that. And, like, I think that the entire point is Hell of a Boss is a very explicit, lampoon of Disney animation, and, like, the need for things to be child-friendly, while also being just about people being in hell. I don't know. It's a show that I think is very interesting when you analyze it, and I also just enjoy the amount of lore they put into the world. It's the same reason Digital Circus has my curiosity piqued, because, like, I want to know where the fuck it's going, and, like, what's nice is, we know it's going somewhere, because the creator has for Digital Circus, they have an ending planned already. They've been very vocal about that. Before the show even entered production, it had a full plot with, where all the questions would get answered, and, like, it would just be a straightforward narrative and tell the amount of story it needs to and not drag it out. And I'm like, fuck yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate a show having respect for its viewers enough to be like, hey, we're gonna have the exact run we have planned. It's something that, like, especially in fucking... It's why I like indie animation in general. It's going good, Dead Brain. I'm just talking about shows I've been watching. But it's why I like indie animation stuff in general compared to, like... Oh yeah, if you know how to do Unreal stuff, I have a lot of questions I can ask. If you are able to give advice. I'm just gonna shoot that one out. That's part of why I live stream this, is I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. But yeah, I was saying, shit like that is why I like indie animation more than, like, studio animation, because, like, studio animation doesn't want to have, or studio TV in general, doesn't want to have their shows have a satisfying conclusion. They want it to go on forever and make infinite money. Yeah, alright. Yeah, because there's a few issues I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so, like, if I can get somebody who knows what they're doing to come in and tell me how to fix it, like, I went over at the start of this stream, but, like, I can't figure out how to get that texture to tile, so I've just went and tucked this underground until I can figure out how to fix it. I need that to tile and not to stretch, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Or, like, where is it? My collectible idols. Oh yeah, whatever, I don't need to go through all the issues again. Hey, thank you for the follow.
Deadbrain52 just followed.
I was just talking about how, like, I don't know, certain shows, especially big budget Hollywood studio stuff, I find myself more and more jaded on because, like, it's not about, when you're talking, like, Hollywood, it's not about telling a good story anymore. It's about telling a story that lasts forever. It's like, the MCU stopped being good at Endgame, because Endgame is where the story ended. And then they kept going. And they have no idea where they're going, and so it kind of fucking blows. You know? What is it to push down? Shift click to lower. There we go, that's about the height I want. Like, God, I haven't even watched the new season of Futurama, but I have zero fucking interest in watching it. I've heard so much about it being garbage. Like, and like I said, that's why more and more nowadays I'm getting into, like, indie animation and indie production, because, like, that's shows made by people who just want to tell a story and be happy with it. You know? And so, like, they have a plotted course. They know where they want the show to go. They know how long they want it to run. They know what story they want to tell. Oh god, Monkey Wrench. I didn't even mention Monkey Wrench. God, I can't wait for more Monkey Wrench. If you've never watched the indie animated pilot for Monkey Wrench, I believe they either have 2 or 3 episodes out. I forget how many now. But it's so good. It's traditionally animated. It's a cute little, like, sci-fi adventure show. It's very, like, tongue-in-cheek, wink at the camera, but not in a, like, look at these stupid tropes way, but in a, like, hey, we know what kind of things the people watching our stuff like, and we're gonna acknowledge that stuff. Like, it reminds me of the old Buzz Lightyear cartoon. It's about a pair of, galactic mercenaries just trying to, like, make a day-to-day living taking on contracts, but they also have a moral code, so, like, they feel bad about if a contract they take turns out to be hurting somebody, so they're like, oh, how can we get out of this contract without screwing ourselves over? And it's very cute and very fun, and I love it. I can't think of a lot of other big indie animation things, because usually I actually listen to more, like, either Let's Play or cooking content on YouTube. And, like, because indie animation stuff comes out at such a slow rate, it's the downside of that. Forgive me for the coughs, I got pneumonia. Yee. Man, a thing I really missed back in the day is I loved stuff like, Yogscast's content, like Yogscast Shadow of Israel or the Jaffa Cake Factory storylines. And I know, like, it still exists in the form of Minecraft SMP stuff. I'm just not a fan of a lot of the Minecraft SMPers. Nothing against any of them, it's just like, the tone is very different compared to the stuff that I used to like. And, like, that slight shift in tone, I'm just like, eh. It's also probably just because I'm older, so I'm jaded. Alright, this will probably be the last bit on here before we turn to the other side. Do I actually want to use... I think I want to replace this with a foliage-free one. God, I know there was more indie animation projects I was watching, and I'm drawing a blank on them. There's a few that I'm following that haven't come out yet, where I'm just like, yeah. Like, oh, there's an old animated show from, like, MTV that the creators got the rights back to it, and now they're animating entirely independently a movie based on it. I wish I could remember what it was called, though, and I love stories like that, especially of, like, people getting back their projects from studios. Oh my god, actually, big Hollywood stuff that is still high quality. Invincible. God. You know, if I'm gonna talk about animation, I gotta talk about Invincible and how fucking amazing Invincible is. And you know why Invincible is amazing? Is because it's doing the exact thing I'm saying that a lot of TV animation doesn't do. Telling a set story that they have decided they want to tell. It is an adaptation of the comic book, directly influenced by the original creator of the comic. Did I just modify the terrain over there? No, okay, it's still good. Like, so, the Invincible TV show is an adaptation of the Invincible comic, directed by the guy who wrote the comic, and he's like, yeah, there's changes. Me fixing everything I fucked up with the original run. The example being, there's a moment in the show, which I will not spoil, that happens at the end of episode 1, which in the comic books was how the comic opened. And the creator was very explicitly like, yeah, I changed that for pacing reasons, to give more of a build-up to the moment and make it feel more interesting. And there's another one where, like, there's a moment that happens, like, near the end of season 1 that in the comic books was in, like, issue 3. And again, it was him being like, yeah, nah, giving more build-up to this moment made it feel more more interesting. And I love stuff like that. I love it when a creator is given a chance to adapt their content into a new medium. Like, oh my god, if you're at all okay with watching stuff marketed towards a younger audience, Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix. It is an adaptation of a young adult children's novel series. The book series is targeted at, like, middle schools. Yes, peak show. And what makes it so good is it was directly written by the creator of the comic books and makes, of the novel series, and directly makes changes to the story that affect it positively. Where the creator explained, like, yeah, when I wrote the books, I had no fucking clue where the books were gonna go. I made it up as I went. I figured it out as I was going, because he didn't know how many books there were gonna be. He wrote the first book and went, I like this, I want to write a sequel. And then he wrote a sequel, and then he wrote another one, and then he went, what the fuck am I doing? If I'm writing this many, I need a wider narrative. And so, like, 3 books in, he started writing a wider narrative. But by the time the show came out, the books were done, and so he was able to look back at his entire collection of books and go, okay, how can I foreshadow everything better? And I love it. And it's also very adorably written and does a very good job of, in a way that is entertaining for an older audience, adapting the kid book elements of it. Like, an example is in the books, because they're marketed at young readers, the characters regularly stop to define words and then spit out a whole bunch of thesaurus-esque, like, reiterations of the phrase. And this is to help the young readers learn new words. But the show uses this almost like a running gag. One example is every episode opens with the narrator, and the narrator will always open up and he'll be like, oh, when we left off, the young, I think they were the Baudelaires, it's been a while since I watched the show. He'd be like, when we left off, the young Baudelaires had found themselves in quite a predicament. A predicament is a moment that is less than ideal, not good, a situation you would not want to be in. And, like, it's very clearly just them doing the thing they did in the children's book, but, like, the way the show frames it, where it's all being said as you're watching, like, the kids in the bad situation they were in at the end of the last episode, like a very obviously bad situation, and the narrator just reiterating how fucked they are in a bunch of different ways, it becomes comedic. And like, I loved that when I was watching it. And like, one criticism people give is like, oh, all of the adults in it are very dumb, so that the kids can look smarter. And I'm like, yeah, it's targeted at kids and it wants kids to feel smart. So adults dumb, kids smart. But additionally, the creator has explicitly said the world of Lemony Snicket is a dystopian world in which education has been repressed and people don't read as much. And that is why everybody is stupid in the world. And the only reason the Baudelaires are so smart compared to everyone else is they had a library because they were rich before the series of unfortunate events began. Because the series is about these kids. They're a rich family. Their parents die in a house fire, and they keep getting moved from family to family, that are supposed to be like their new caregivers. But every book ends with their caregivers having a series of unfortunate events that results in them having to be passed along to a new family member. It's a very cute, very good show, and it's a full, concise story you can watch right now. And like, that's what I love. Like, low-key, that's why I stopped watching Umbrella Academy. Because Umbrella Academy Season 1 was a very tightly written, good series, or show. And then halfway through Season 2, and because I started watching late, I was halfway through Season 2 and they announced Season 3. And now they have Season 4 coming out, and I'm just like, do they have an endpoint in mind? Is this going anywhere? And it kind of made me lose interest entirely. Because it felt like it's just running its pedals, especially if you go straight from Season 1 of Umbrella Academy to Season 2. It's just the same fucking thing happening again, but different. Like, they were like, oh shit, we got a second season? What the fuck are we gonna do? This now. And like, I'm sure it's in some way based on the comics it comes from, but it doesn't feel like it's telling a concise narrative anymore, and that's why I lost my interest. Sorry, pneumonia. But like, that's what I want in a show, is like a show to have a plan, to know where it's going, to have a planned end. I don't want my media to go forever. I want to just have a fun story that ties off all of its loose ends and stops dragging its feet making up new bullshit. Star Wars stopped being good after the second fucking movie. I said it. Episode 3 is kind of lame. Episode 6 is kind of lame. And the prequels kinda suck, and the sequels really suck, and most of the expanded media, outside of the Garnikov-Tarkovsky animated series, are kinda fucking lame. God, I hate Star Wars! And I'm sick of seeing it everywhere. And it's just going forever. Okay, hang on, I need to get this off my chest. When Disney bought Star Wars, and they announced Star Wars Legends, I was like, yes! Finally! Somebody's fixing the absolute garbage fire that is Star Wars canon. Because Star Wars canon makes no fucking sense. So they took everything and said, all of this is myths. Some of it could be true, some of it might not be true. It is legends. The only things which are absolute canon are the movies and whatever we make going forward. And I was like, that's great. That's what you need. You need a hard reset. And then they fucking squandered it by releasing torrents of hot garbage that contradict each other and not making the world make sense. I want to like Star Wars so much, but it makes zero fucking sense. Excuse me. Pneumonia. Chewbacca's Bigfoot! That was canon for a long time. That Chewbacca's Bigfoot. It's legends now, thank God. But that is, I think, enough to point out how stupid Star Wars canon is. Chewbacca's Bigfoot. Fuck. Oh god, and don't get me started on Rings of Power. And now there's a fucking a movie about Aragon coming out. Alright, if you're gonna do more Star Wars media, here's what I want. Make a Silmarillion show. I'll be happy. Just adapt the Silmaril into a TV show. Don't do this Rings of Power bullshit. Rings of Power sucks. I think I'm losing my voice. Ugh. It's just such drivel. It's just such... Ugh. I don't want to talk about Rings of Power. I fucking love Lord of the Rings lore to the point where I'm going to be running a Lord of the Rings D&D campaign with my friend group soon, based off Tolkien's unreleased novel, The New Shadow. And so, like, coming at it from that perspective, goddamn does the Rings of Power fucking blow. Which sucks, because they had all the potential to make something fucking amazing. Tolkien's universe is, like... And you know what? Sure. Don't adapt the Silmaril. You know, no. Don't do that, because then you're just rehashing a story. Give us something entirely new. Entirely new. Like, you know, Return to Moria, the video game. That's great. Why not write a movie about that era? Pick the moments of Tolkien's lore that he did not elaborate on in depth, and elaborate on them in depth. Give us the fucking Dwarven Goblin Wars that raged for decades. Show us the Age of Numenor. Like, oh god, just do something interesting that's not stupid and not contradictory to all of the amazing fucking lore Tolkien spent his life writing. That's why I hate Rings of Power, is it contradicts so much fucking lore. You can tell an original story without shitting all over the original material. Fuck! It's why I hate Star Wars expanded media. Why is there a campfire on the outside of a spaceship? I don't understand. I'm confused. Old man yells at clouds. Simpsons stopped being good years ago. Cancel me. I'm just rambling. And yeah, I know, all my opinion sucks because I like My Little Pony. Don't worry, I understand. Nothing I've said here matters. I want to be clear, though. My Little Pony by no means is peak fiction. It's just a fucking comfort food that I watched in between episodes of fucking Dexter. Which, oh man, you want good media, watch Dexter. Some of Dexter is fucking garbage. Season 1 of Dexter, 50% garbage. The last 2 seasons of Dexter, 60% garbage. The rest of Dexter, fan-fucking-tastic. Watch Dexter. If you want to have a pitch of Dexter, no, I don't mean Dexter's Laboratory from fucking Cartoon Network. To pitch Dexter real fast, anybody who's never heard of it, Dexter is a mentally ill individual who has a compulsive need to murder. If he does not murder people regularly, he goes into, like, basically blackout rages where he murders whoever's near him. So his father, seeing his son was fucking insane, trained him to only murder bad guys and taught him how to get away with murder. 'Cause, you know, dad of the year. The show kind of acknowledges what a garbage father his dad is, don't worry. It's a major plot point in later seasons. Later good seasons. But so, his dad, who was a cop, taught him how to get away with murder and basically told him, listen son, if you're gonna kill somebody, you need to have a few things known. It has to be somebody who's murdered, and they have to be somebody who will murder again if you don't stop them. It's the only way you can justify it. And then they gave Miami the entire world's population of serial killers to give Dexter a never-ending cycle of victims to keep him sated. And it's delightfully dumb. But also so well written. And like, it's just great. One of my favorite little moments in Dexter that I will always remember, there's So Dexter works as a forensics expert, and that's how he's able to, like, find the people he's going after, as he works with the police, and he basically sabotages police investigations so that he can murder the criminals on his own. But there's another cop who just gets bad vibes from Dexter. You know, probably because Dexter's a fucking sociopath. But, Dexter has this constant running inner monologue throughout the show. And there's one moment where he's, like, talking with everybody, and he's like, who wants donuts? You know, just walking and being all friendly to all of his coworkers. And he walks up and offers them the donuts, and then the cop is like him. It's like, you know, you've always unnerved me. Like, I don't remember the exact lines, but it's like, you've always unnerved me, Dexter. I don't like you. And then Dexter's inner monologue is like, he's always been able to see through my ruse. What was that you said? What? And there's just like this pause as if the guy just read his mind, and it's just very silly. And like, that's part of what I like about Dexter, is it's like silly and pulpy. Like, it takes itself seriously to a comedic degree, like some of the better Batman content. And I love Dexter. I highly recommend it. The ending isn't great, fair warning, but I still say it's worth watching through to the ending. But boy, oh boy, does the last season lose the script. But like, in a you can't look away from the car crash kind of loses the script, where like, no matter how bad it gets, you still want to watch it and see where the fuck they're going with it. And like, it's not bad enough to be like, oh god, I hate this, but it's just bad enough for you to be like, what are they? What? Huh? Oh, there's the glitch that I was talking about at the start of episode. Yeah, clipping through terrain. I'm sorry, I'm very rambly. This has become the Brian recommends his favorite shows episode. Amazing Digital Circus, Hell of a Boss, Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events. If you have a penchant for shows marketed towards young girls, My Little Pony, Dexter. Oh my god, My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia. If I'm talking about good media, how can I... if I'm talking about good media, I gotta talk about My Hero Academia, which I have only watched as far as it's been released on Hulu. Please, nobody spoil me on the ending of the show, or the manga. I know the manga just ended. But man, no media has been able to make me tear up as much as My Hero Academia. Fucking Deku, my little baby boy. To give a has spoiler-free pitch of My Hero Academia, as in, I'm not even gonna spoil the ending of episode 1, because I think this show is that good. My Hero Academia is set in a world where superheroes exist, like, to the crazy DC comic books degree. And yeah, it's so good. But so superheroes exist to like to the degree where like there are so many people with superpowers that there are average citizens with superpowers who aren't superheroes. But some of the superpowers are lame. Like, some characters say, oh, my superpower is I can generate 1 cup of water a day. So, I'm an office worker. Or, like, somebody else is like, I can levitate anything that weighs half a pound or less. That's my superpower. But then you get people who are like, my superpower is that I have the strength to crush the earth if I wanted to. Or, my superpower is I can mind control 100 people. My superpower is that I can literally alter matter around me and reconstruct it into anything I want. So, like, it's crazy the degree of change you get. And the main character, Midoriya Shigaraki, I believe is his last name. I'm bad with Japanese. Nicknamed Deku by his high school bully. He wants to be, like, the world's greatest superhero, All Might, who's basically Superman, but less, weaker Superman. He's super strength is his power. He wants to be like All Might, his favorite hero, and he wants to be the greatest hero. All Might is literally the top-rated, most popular hero in the world, and is beloved by all. But there's one problem. Deku is part of the very, very small percentage of the population who does not have any power whatsoever. Completely and utterly powerless. But boy, oh boy, is he not going to let it get in his way, because he's got the hero spirit, and that becomes a very big running thing in the show. The way they describe the hero spirit in a great way. I think it is the moment when somebody's body moves without their thought because they see somebody in need, and that's what makes a hero. Is somebody who just like, without a thought, without a plan, even if they know they're at a disadvantage, they know somebody needs their help, so they will go and help that person. Even if that person hates them, even if that person is a piece of trash, even if that person doesn't deserve the help or doesn't want the help, a hero will help them. And that's what Deku has. And man, does the show make me bawl sometimes because it's so well written. I love My Hero Academia so much. So much. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything other than that, because I'm not even spoiling anything past episode 1. I just recommend you fucking watch it. Oh my god, shit's getting so good where I am in the show, and I can't wait for more episodes to hit Hulu. Oh my god, My Hero Academia is good. What are other shows I've enjoyed I can recommend? Dragon Ball's alright. I recommend Dragon Ball Abridged more than Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Abridged being a YouTube parody of it. But boy oh boy are the early seasons hard to get through because they are dripping with early... Because they spent like close to 20 years, I think, making Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And the early seasons are from the early 2000s and drip with that lol so random humor of the early 2000s. And it is painful sometimes. But it's good. Like, going back and trying to rewatch it for the first time, I was like, oh man. Oh man, I forgot how bad these early seasons were. And I'm upset that they ended it, but I understand that why they did. Alright, so the bottom's looking good. Let's check the top. I'm trying to think of other really good media that I've been enjoying. Amazing Digital Circus, Monkey Wrench, Lemony Snicket, Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel, My Hero Academia and Invincible. What else is there? What else can I recommend? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've done the thing where I've gotten myself stuck. Sorry, pneumonia triggered coughing fits. I'm on medication for my pneumonia, so it's getting better. I'm trying to think of other shows that I would highly recommend. Because there's plenty of shows I've watched where I'm like, it's okay. I enjoyed it. But I wouldn't, like, hugely recommend it. Because, like, I love Samurai Jack. I would not recommend you go out of your way to watch Samurai Jack if it's not something that's previously piqued your interest. Oh man, like, especially, they squandered that final season of Samurai Jack. I loved it, don't get me wrong. Boy, did they fucking squander it. That's a whole nother rant that I don't feel like going on, though. But, you know, remind me another time, and maybe on my Discord or something I'll rant about it for 20 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and fix this issue by clicking on you and slightly sinking you. Does that fuck up any terrain over here? It does a little bit. So we're gonna smooth that. Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. If I'm talking about banger media, I gotta recommend the original animated Avatar: The Last Airbender. Season 1 is the weakest season, but is still very good TV. You may think just because it was a kids show aired on Nickelodeon, it's not worth watching. Nah. It becomes top-tier fantasy and political drama. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, original series, so good. Sequel series Legend of Korra infuriates me to no end, and I could rant about it for hours. God, I want to like Legend of Korra. God, Legend of Korra is almost a perfect sequel to Avatar. Man, I want to like it so bad, but it fucking blows! Part of that is entirely about the way they were dicked around by Nickelodeon. Part of it is also, I'm starting to wonder, as more Avatar media comes out, that maybe the original series was flash in the pan luck from the creators, because the more they release books and comic books, the more I question how good they are at writing their own universe. Because, like, every piece of expanded Avatar media makes me like the world less. Because they keep messing up the things that made their own world cool. And yes, I know I'm speaking from the point of view of an entitled fan and not the original creator, but I just don't think anything since the original series has been as good. But I will never say it has actively ruined the original content, because no. You can't ruin old media by making new bad media. It doesn't matter how bad the new Star Wars content is, the first Star Wars movie will still be good. It doesn't matter how bad new Avatar content is, the original Avatar series will still be good. Doesn't matter how bad whatever the fuck Amazon does with Lord of the Rings is, the original Lord of the Rings books are still fucking works of goddamn fucking art. My phone is blowing up with Discord messages. I think it's, I'm assuming it's Dead Brain joining the Discord. Thank you for joining the Discord. And hey, if you have some free money, feel free to join the Ko-fi. Excuse me, I'm just dying. In fact, actually, if you're watching this while I'm live, now is a really good time to join the Ko-fi because I just recently started the vote on what the next Ko-fi supporter picked series will be. In fact, oops, I did not mean to do that. I think... Hang on, this goes up on Saturday the 5th. When does the Ko-fi vote end? In 12 days... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think by the time this goes up on YouTube, the Ko-fi vote will have ended. Hang on, what date does it end? Sorry, I'm just trying to do math. And I'm not smart because it's like 3 a.m. The vote ends October 4th. Yeah, so by the time this goes up on YouTube, the Ko-fi vote ended already. Sorry, people who are watching the YouTube video of this. But hey, you will have already been given fair warning that the vote's going on. Well, yeah, I have a vote where people can vote on what games I play on my channel now. Yay! Which, yeah, I guess that means, hey, keep an eye out, YouTube people. New Let's Play voted on by my Ko-fi supporters coming out soon. Woo! Also, if you support me on Ko-fi, you'll get your name in the credits of this game when it releases. And eventually I'm going to declare one tier that where everybody in that tier will just get a free copy, but I've yet to decide what tier that will be. Oh man, it's already past 6 a.m. It's past the time I usually go to sleep. I might wrap up this stream soon because of that. I've just been having fun ranting about media. Alright. Second wall done. We gotta make this jungle a lot more dense. We gotta get the foliage capper that I want. Yeah, I've yet to decide what tier is gonna get the game for free. But I will eventually create a tier where if you join that tier, you get a copy of this, a Steam key or whatever I end up doing. I'm just dying, sorry. You get a copy of the game free. So let's see here. What height am I going to want this to sit at when I... Sorry, now I'm just thinking about how I want the foliage clapper to be. Make it thinner, please. Yeah, because what I want to do with this eventually is tile the texture and have it sit above the jungle to give the jungle a thicker canopy. That's the idea of what this thing's supposed to be. And I think this is about the height that it will sit at in the end. Yeah, just because it will make the jungle look like it has a denser top, which I want. Alright, this is looking pretty ideal to what I want it to be. Like I said, eventually I gotta figure out how to tile its texture. Alright, so what's its location, its height? Boom. The blue one is the height. Write that down, write that down! Somebody write that down for me in the Discord! I'll probably try and remember to write it down at some point. Actually, I'm gonna write it down in the Discord right fucking now, before I forget. Let's see here. Go to my Discord. Go to my forums. Go to the Gamedev room. Canopy blue number 2871 .241 825. Bada bing, bada boom. I now have the exact height I'm gonna want this to be at. Written down. Whee! Whee! And now it's floating up there until I figure out how to tile its texture. Alright. I think we made good progress today building the western wall. Like, yeah, look at all that. Our central jungle is coming together more and more every day. After that, I'll move on to building that jungle. I gotta download better city assets to build that area. Yeah. I think this game's coming along quite nicely. I've been thinking about another game I want to make. And, like, I have other games I want to make, but the problem is I don't have the talents I need to make them. But one I was thinking is, I was watching stuff talking about Epic Mickey recently, and it reminded me how much I loved that game, and I realized Steamboat Willie and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit are public domain. You can make a game about these characters that's public domain if you use the right stuff. And what better characters to have in a 3D platformer game called Steamboat Willie? where you use the Steamboat Willie to navigate from level to level, and the levels are based off the old classic public domain animations that Mickey and Oswald the Lucky Rabbit starred in. You could do something really cute and fun with that. Make it a love letter to classic rubber hose animation. I don't know, it's just a thought I had. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode of Marble Island Roll. Yeah. I want to get the volcano kind of center screen. But yeah, so those of you watching the YouTube upload of this, I think that's where this episode's gonna end. I hope you've all been enjoying it. And cards will be appearing in just a moment. Love all you very, very much, and ta-ta for now.